Yes, thank you. Hello everyone. Grace Uyobara. I'm a K-class student, and I'm now going to respond different questions uh, by starting on two categories of economic. One each is my microeconomic, and second one is macroeconomic. By starting on microeconomic is the study of individuals and business decision, while macroeconomic is look at the decision of country and government. This is because microeconomic deals with various issues like supply factors, pricing, product price, price of product, economic welfare, production, consumption. But macroeconomic deals with various issues like national income and is the government which is going to deal about that, and distribution, employment, general price level, money, value of money, and so on. By showing an example, for let's say that a company is going to launch a new product, might deliberately try to raise the price of their product by increasing consumer demand through advertising. At time they might try to further increase their price by deliberately restricting the number of units they sell in order to decrease supply. Also, there is a relationship between demand and supply. It's fundamental economic. It means that supply and demand are fundamental economic principle that when supply exists, when it's a fundamental economic price that when supply exceeds the demand for a good or service price far. When demand exceeds supply, price tend to rise. Also, there is an inverse relationship between the supply and demand, the supply and price of goods and service when demand is unchanged. It means that it's fundamental principles that when supply exceeds demand for a good or service, prices fall. When demand exceeds supply, price tend to rise. There is inverse. There's inverse relationship between the supply and prices of goods and service when demand is unchanged. Also there is other relationship between demand and supply because both has advantages. It means that since a market or when market economy allow the free interplay of supply and demand, it ensures that or it shows that the most desired goods and services are produced. Consumers are willing or are happy to pay the highest price for the things they want the most. Business also will only create those things that return a profit. Another question was asking how the supply and demand interact to create economic equilibrium. It means that economic equilibrium, supply and demand interact to create economic equilibrium when equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity acquire where the supply and demand curve cross. The equilibrium occur where the quantity demanded is equal to the quantity supplied. If the price is below the quantity level, then the quantity demanded will exceed the quantity supplied. Another question was asking how does equilibrium affect affect supply and demand. When there is a decrease in demand, will cause the equilibrium price to fall. Quantity supplied will decrease. An increase in supply or other thing unchanged will cause the equilibrium price to fall. Quantity demand will increase. A decrease in supply will cause the equilibrium price to rise, and demand quantity will also decrease. Another question was asking, how does supply and demand interact to economy? Another answer about that is about how another answer about that how demand and supply interact to create economy. It means that is because economic equilibrium occur when the demand and supply meet at the same point. On that point is called equilibrium point. Also, other question was asking me, while planning for trip in 3 different countries, what are going to be my top 5 priorities item in the budget. First is about transport. uh, this is because when I'm going to travel from one country to another, I will need transportation. It means that I want money to pay for transport. If I'm going to go with airplane or with a car, I will need money for paying. It means that I will remove money from my budget to pay, or I will prepare money from my budget to pay for the transportation. I will also need accommodation. It means that this is the place where I will live. I will have to make a budget of money I will pay in the place where I will live. It means that for instance, say that is a hotel. I have to pay money of there at hotel which are equal to the. I have to search the hotel and find how much money I need to pay in the hotel, and but I have to make sure it is not it have not high price, because it may depend on what how it may depend on my budget. I have to find a low price of a low price of hotel, so that I need to pay some amount of money in the hotel which are equal to the how many days I will spend there. I will also need the food. It means that from when I will start my journey or my trip until when I will turn back, I have to make a budget of money which I will use to pay for the food for consumption. But I should make sure that is a low price, because it should help me to have everything I want in my trip. Also, I will need sightseeing and excursion. For instance, there is some enjoyable price that I will need to visit, like if there is some lakes in that country, I will need to visit there. Some things which can attract the tourism, so that I can go there and enjoy, so that I will need to pay a lot of money. I will also need to make a miscellaneous. This is because I will need to keep some amount of money. It is not good that I can pay all money or budget I have, but I have to rest, or I have to remain some amount of money on side, so I will need to come to return back by having some few money on my pocket. That is called miscellaneous. Yeah, thank you.